Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into a fresh and new 2024 electoral map prediction. This is Joseph Biden versus Donald Trump. And guys, just a few things before we really get into this. I do not think Biden will be running in 2024. I think they're stringing him along until the midterms. After the midterms, the Democrats will get somebody else in there and Biden will step down. We will see, but guys, I would see no way they will have Joe Biden run for the Democrats. Either way, all of these states, if it is Trump versus Biden somehow, I've looked at all these states. These are just the ones that are always won by the party. I am not going to debate any of these states. You know, some people might try and argue one or two of them, but I think it's very clear that they're Democratic states. Like California is going to be Democrat. Joe Biden could assassinate 5,000 people. They would vote for him in 2024. Joe Biden could run over 2 million people, and the District of Columbia would vote for him in 2024. They're just going to, same thing with these Republican states and Trump. That's just the way it is. But my prediction right now, so Biden has 209, mainly based off of California and New York, and Trump has 125. Taking a look at Nevada, very interesting state, not much polling done. I do believe Biden won this in 2020, but I do think it would go Republican in 2024 based off of the pandemic, the absolute disaster with that, and just overall the incompetence of the Biden administration. Guys, I am an independent just looking at this with what's going on currently in the world. Arizona going to Trump, in my opinion, in 2024. Minnesota, to me, seems like a Democratic state. I think Hillary won Minnesota by 10 points, and Biden won Minnesota by a pretty significant. To me, Minnesota at this point really isn't a swing state. And another state that I don't think is a swing state is Texas. Texas is Republican, folks. I know their 2022 race, the Republican candidate leads by, I think, 10 points in that. This is the one. Got it. Oh, it's a district. That's what it is. I haven't done one of these in forever. I almost forgot. So here's the Democratic gerrymandering. Democrats always complain about gerrymandering. Well, they won that district. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. No, what I want to do is the one district does need to go. Yeah, like that. So I think the Democrats are going to win the one district in Nebraska because it's gerrymandered. I'm kidding. But it's weird how they do the districts. Either way, Biden won the district in 2020, so I think they win again in 2024. Iowa is Trump, in my opinion. It's a more Republican state. Wisconsin, so it is very interesting. Number one, there's a few things I want to talk about. I think Ohio is a Republican state. In 2016, Trump won Ohio by 10 points. In 2020, he won it by around 8 points. I think he wins it again in 2024. And then Florida is another state that is swinging Republican at this point. And I do have Donald Trump, if he were to face Biden in specific, winning. So some interesting demographic changes. Of course, the whole Georgia thing, going Democrat last year for the first time in over 20 years or whatever it was. Other states, North Carolina, I think goes Trump, but it is always very close in North Carolina. Like in 2016, it was 1.5 points. In 2020, it was 1.5 points. Trump won both years, but it is always extremely close. And I think Trump does flip back Georgia. And you want to talk about an absolute disaster currently with the Democrats trying to change the definition of recession. It's disgusting what politicians do, with these things. It's amazing. And then, at that point, we do have Trump closing in on a victory. I think Joe Biden takes Maine, all 4 of the districts. I know the one district they're definitely going to win, but I think he gets all of them. Either way, New Hampshire, I think Biden gets as well. It's a smaller state, although it is a toss-up. A few people voting it. And then we've got the 3 Rust Belt states, and I'm guessing if I had to right now, I think Trump sweeps the entire Rust Belt based on what Biden, and to be honest with you guys, I'm trying to be nice to Biden here. I think it could even be worse. I think you could go in this situation, not Vermont. I don't know what I'm doing. You could go something like that, give them the one district there. Because with Biden and the whole administration, it is an absolute disaster. But again, the Democrats are not going to be running Biden in 2024 at the age of 81, or I don't know, 81 or 82. That would be an absolute disaster. So they will, in my opinion, I'm thinking either Michelle Obama or Gavin Newsom. We will do a speculation video on that. Who's the favorite right now in the Democratic Party? It's not going to be Kamala. It's not going to be Biden. Who will it be? We'll see. If they send Biden in there somehow, which seems impossible. It seems like they're trying to hide him from the media right now. We're not even at midterms and they're trying to hide him. We haven't even reached the halfway point of the 4-year period for Biden in office. So I'm trying to be nice to Biden here, but it would be really, really ugly. And then you go through a recession and you're trying to change the definition, and it's just like, what are we doing here in America? It is unfrickin' believable. But either way, guys, this is the prediction, Trump versus Biden. And Trump's not some great candidate either. He's extremely polarizing, but Americans, you see Biden having worse approval rating than Trump, while Biden has 90% of the media on his side. And still with worse approval rating than Trump. And that's with CNN and all the major mainstream media thinking everything Trump did was worse than 9/11. Hey, I mean, some of them think January 6th was worse than 9/11. There you go right there. So this would be my prediction. It is interesting with the whole Republican side. If Trump lost in the primaries, they would have to get Trump to accept defeat, because DeSantis, I think, would beat Biden even worse, but I don't think Biden's running. We could see a DeSantis versus Gavin Newsom. We could see Trump versus Gavin Newsom. But this is just, I'm doing the rematch because Biden technically is in office right now. And then people say, well, it's going to be Kamala. Kamala is, virtually more unlikable than Biden is currently. So they're not going to do that. And she's also horrible in terms of debates. They're not going to do that. What they're going to do is it's either going to be Michelle Obama as a wild card entry or Gavin Newsom. Right now, that's what we're looking at in terms of Democrats. And for Republicans, it's Trump, it's DeSantis, and then you've got a host of others. But kind of similar, like what in 2016, we saw all those Republican candidates. There'll be a lot of them, but you're going to have the two mainstays, Trump and DeSantis, especially this day and age. It's going to be tough for any Republicans to, beat either one of those guys. You might see somebody trend for a little bit. You guys remember back in 2016 when Ben Carson for like a week led who remembers that? That was that was really early in the process. But when it comes to these states, I think there's no way Washington goes Republican. There's no way Oregon goes Republican. Obviously, California. Nevada seems, if Biden runs again, shocking if Biden carries Nevada if he runs again. New Mexico's Democrat, Colorado's Democrat. All these upper states are going to be conservative. The one district, I think, I'm just speculating it's going to go to Biden just because he won it in 2020. I don't know how close it was. I forgot. Minnesota seems like more of a Democrat state. I know people say it's a swing state. Virginia is a Democrat state at this point. Although, I don't know. Virginia's interesting. Virginia had that, the governor race where the Republican won. So I don't know. I'd have to look into that. But the Democrat has been carrying Virginia in terms of the presidency. It wasn't close with Hillary in 2016. She won easily. And then Biden won in 2020 pretty easily. New York, clearly Democrat. I think Ohio is changing. I think Ohio is the one Rust Belt state out of the four that is not a swing state anymore. It's a Republican state, in my opinion, but it's not crazy Republican. I think the margin would be 8 to 10 points. Florida, it's going to be close again, but it seems to be, with the whole DeSantis factor, swinging more Republican. And you can see this is just the overall breakdown. Is there a way Biden could win? I would say you try and get Wisconsin, you try and get Michigan. I don't see, if Biden runs again, him winning Florida. I don't see him winning Ohio. Maybe you try for Pennsylvania. You're still losing at that point, so you would need a New Hampshire. You would, at that point, you would need a New Hampshire, and you're still losing. It's very tough, for Joe at this point. It's just not going to happen. So we will see. again, I do not think Biden's going to run, but guys, I'm going to be doing a number of these different combinations. You know, we're going to do Trump versus Michelle Obama. We're going to do Gavin Newsom versus DeSantis. I think the next one I'm going to do, it's going to be Trump versus someone probably, because Biden, it's just, there's no other time I would see Biden. Who else do they have here? Do they have Harris? Oh, they do have Harris. Buttigieg? Yeah, Buttigieg. I think Buttigieg will be the VP of the next Democratic ticket in 2024. He'll be the VP. They don't even have Michelle Obama on here. I don't even know who this person is. I'm great with politics. Chris Christie, the big fella. Imagine if he's running again. Oh, I love that. Joe Rogan. I'm kidding. Hulk Hogan. I don't know who that is, but imagine if they had Joe Rogan on the Republican. Oh, man. Mike Pence. Guys, Mike Pence is literally John McCain 2.0. Mike Pence would get bullied by the media, and he wouldn't do anything about it. If you want to be a Republican and you want to win in 2024, with this day and age, with the media being 90% liberal, you have to be just kind of an ass, I'll be honest. Like, you have to be like Trump or DeSantis, or else the media is just going to bully you. So that's why I think it's going to be Trump or DeSantis, in my opinion. Where's Rand Paul? Rand Paul is not on here. Ted Cruz makes an appearance. Yeah, some of these people I don't even know, but either way, guys, it'll be interesting. I think if Trump matched up with Biden, you know, I think we all understand it wouldn't be close. I mean, especially, maybe Biden can change the definition if Trump wins, he can say, you know what, the loser actually is in the White House. Just like he changed the definition of recession. And then you've got Democrats on CNN saying, oh, recession doesn't matter. Yes, it doesn't matter, of course. If we change the definition of recession, it won't hurt Americans, guys. That's the whole point. I mean, who thought that was I don't know who thought that was a good idea. It is amazing. It's going to make people talk about it even more. But guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, DJings. Thank you for watching.